back working on a little girl. This is the hatch, the slide that goes back to get down into through the companionway. I got it flipped upside down here. You remember in the last video I did, I took all the wood off from little girl and brought it up here to Vermont. And it's raining and it's cold. Another good old Vermont day today. But what I've done, this had a really bad repair. And I mean bad repair. You can see, I mean, they did almost no wetting. A long time ago. This is just really in bad shape. And the handle had to come off. I took both the bungs out, took the screws out from inside. They had the screws going through this piece of plywood on the inside in order to stabilize it, because what was happening was where this, if you can visualize this right side up, what was happening was, because of the very weight of itself, this crack, bad crack, was opening up and allowing it to flatten out, and it was coming down and it was not clearing the top of the slats. And it was just a pain. You had to pick up on it every time you wanted to close the companionway. And so anyway, what I'm doing, I've taken the handle completely off. This is going to be stripped and obviously redone, probably with Cetol. Then after that, what I've got started right now is I'm gonna obviously this just comes right out of here. I'm gonna take and completely cut this out. I've already begun. This is my very first time ever using one of these silly things, a rotary tool, and this is a Wen. It works pretty good. You got to use it on high speed, or it really bogs down when it gets into this fiberglass. I mean, it's just dense enough to where it really starts dragging. I have not pushed it to the full speed yet, but anyway, this is what I'm doing. I've already got this cut. I don't know if you can see this. I've already got this cut quite a bit out of the way. I'm going to completely clear all this stuff out of here, grind it and cut it out. And like I said, sometimes somebody did a major try to do a repair on this, but I've got some mat. And I'm going to completely grind this and get it good and scored up, and try to make a good fiberglass repair, even getting glass down in, or resin down in the crack. I'm going to study it out a little bit, but I'll let you guys see it when I get it all done. Hopefully this is going to stabilize it and get this hatch lid back in order so that I can put it all back together and take it down to the boat. The next time I make a trip to the Cape, I want all these parts, I've got brand new mahogany for all the trim on the companionway, and I want all of that stuff ready to go and going back onto the boat. So anyway, I'll get you guys caught up later when I get some more work done on this. All right, that's it for now. Bye. I stripped all of that old fiberglass mat away. And I've ground it down. I don't know if you can see this. I've really ground it down right into the crack to give myself a nice broad reach on both sides. Actually, I'm probably going to take this side down some more so that I can get a good lay of fiberglass across here. And also down into here. You can't see it, but there's actually a little bit of a crack that extends down right there. And I've also taken it right to the outside. And you can see, I'm letting this light come through. You can see how bad the crack was all the way up through here. What I'm going to do, I'm going to do a little bit more grinding right there. I don't want to open the crack totally, but I want to be able to get a layover of some of that fiberglass mat and a lot of resin right in there. Completely fill up this area. Do it just the way they recommend, layer by layer. And as I do this, I'm going to put weight on this. I don't know. Hang on a minute. Let me get over on this side. I'm going to put weight on this so that as I do that, this pushes together. This pushes together and hold it like that. I may get a side to side. I've got some really long bar clamps and just really cleat the thing together while the fiberglass is laid up and while everything is hardening. So anyway, this is what I've done so far. I'll come back after we get some more done, but I mean, it's a long way from where it was. I get all that old, really badly laid glass out of there, and gonna have to clean up some a little more. I want to, like I said, I'm gonna take it down some more here. I want to be able to get a good broad reach across here with some glass to give it some structural strength. And we're getting there. I'm hoping this is going to do it once and for all. Obviously, on the outside of this, I'm going to have to get some put some gel coat and some paint. But I've got my paint all ready to go on both of the hatches, both parts of the hatch. So anyway, getting there, and I'll come back later and show you what we've done. Thanks. Bye. We're finally ready. I'm all set up here. I've got all my little patches of cut strand mat ready to go here. These are the top section is going to be on the inside. The bottom section is on the outside because it's ground out less on the outside. And so what I'm planning to do, this is going to be the first one in on the inside, then second, then third, and then get all the way across the span on the inside. And then on the outside, which is, like I said, this is ground out much less, it'll just be these three here. But after the first and second one on the the first and second ones that are going on the in and the outside, I plan to take this and lap it over the top and connect the two. And anyway, I've never done this before. I've just watched it on YouTube. And so wish me well. What I'm going to do, for this first batch, and I don't even know how much to mix up. I've got my cups. Hang on a minute. Let me just pause here briefly and I'll show you what I've got. Back. I bought a whole bunch of these little cups. They're just right for mixing in. And I marked them all last night. This is for 1 ounce and 2 ounces of the resin. And then I just put in 10 drops if it's 1 ounce, 20 drops if it's 2 ounces. I think for all of this I may do 2 ounces, and you know, if I don't use it all, so be it. It's just going to harden up into a rock anyway. So anyway, so this is the plan, and I'll get back to you after this is all done. It'll be interesting. I kind of have it all planned out here. This is wax paper on the floor, and I plan to wet it on the wax paper. It's all taped down, everything's taped off, and we'll show you. Oh, by the way, just for the record, this is clamped across, so that and then propped up on each end by tape, spools of tape, in order to be able to push this together. So that it pretty much is shut. You can see there it's almost completely closed. But once all of the cut strand matting goes in there and gets hardened up, I'm hoping this does it. And we'll get back to you. Let you see how all this comes out. It's all planned. Let's just see if it all works. All right, my first shot at this. Let you know. Bye. Here it is, finally, after all the glass and the resin and waiting for it to kick and everything, it came out great. This has already been sanded out to a certain extent. By the way, the hole you're seeing is not a hole. That's where I think they had an old hasp or something in there in the past right here. And it's long gone, and it's been glassed in a long time ago. So anyway, but that's where the crack was, and boy, solid as a rock. And on the inside, it's really heavily built. I don't know if you can see this or not, but I mean, I left it. I left it very heavy deliberately. And there's a lot I've got left to do here in terms of putting some filler in, trying to get it cleaned up, a little more sanded out before we go to some gel coat and so forth. But boy, compared to that crack and all the flexing I was getting and everything, it'll never flex again, I don't think. It is just solid and just really good and stable. And boy, it's my very first fiberglass job, and I feel excellent about it. And now I can begin to kind of put things back together, because when I go to the Cape, this is going to be all finished out and ready to go back on the. This is the hatch cover that slides back and forth, and I really am looking forward to this now being nice and stable and not having to deal with it caving in through the crack and not clearing the slats. Anyway, all right, that's it for now, guys, and thanks for hanging with me through another video on all the processes. The fiberglass went great. I don't have any complaints. Fiberglass went great, and that crack is, you can see it, but the way it is gone, that is buried under many layers of cut strand mat and glass and resin. So came out great. Thanks, guys. Hope you've enjoyed this one, and we'll catch you on the next time. Bye-bye.